Solana is in an extremely dangerous position right now. We could be looking at this thing crashing all the way down to critical areas like $80, potentially even lower than that, around, around the $40, $50, even $30 ranges. And I want to break this down for you in this video. This is not a video to scare you out of your positions or anything like that, but simply to present the facts. Now, before I get into this, I know that a lot of people are going to have an issue with me telling you guys about these facts because you just cannot accept that your investments may drop down. And if that's the case, get the fuck off the channel right now, because you are not going to stand 5 minutes here if you can't entertain ideas like this and keep a level head in these crypto markets. You don't belong here. You're going to lose your money, and I'm going to be the only one that tells it to you straight to your face to go right back to your day job, because this is not the place that you make your money if you can't sit through a video like this. But without wasting more time, let's get into this. The first key thing that I just want to talk to you guys about is, first of all, look, this is one of the classic setups for a coin that absolutely rocket ships up to ridiculously high levels very quickly. I mean, from July, I know you can't see the price, but it was trading at about $22, all the way up to more than 10 times higher than that within the very same year, just about 4 months later in November, up to $260. Now, the thing is that on this rally that Solana set, it didn't really stop trending upwards at all, right? From this low at about $25 again in July, Solana pretty much traded up within a series of straight lines. I mean, look, a straight line up over here, a small correction here, and the only real correction that I'm seeing on the daily time frame up here, and then another leg up right here, and this is where it had its first major correction. This is very important because previously Solana had managed to top out right here, and I'm going to show you these price levels right now, bear with me. Solana had managed to top out at about the $57 area just previously in May, along with Bitcoin and everything else when the big crash happened from 65k down to 30. But when it managed to pass this level, it just flew straight up, and absolutely nothing was stopping Solana. And of course, that's really nice when we're moving on the way up. But the problem is that if we end up moving back down, we have absolutely nothing to expect as support. We have this potential range right here, which I'm going to talk about later on. But other than that, if this thing tanks just a little bit more, it's going to be in a lot of trouble. So I want to break this down for you and show you exactly why I think Solana could be in this position. But the flip side to this is that it is actually currently in a bullish pattern, and I'm going to break that down for you as well inside of this video. Now, a lot of this relates to the Bitcoin analysis that you would have seen me putting out. So again, if you appreciate this kind of level-headed analysis and you want to see it on the rest of these markets, then of course make sure you're subscribed, make sure you engage with these videos, hit up the likes so you can keep on watching them as YouTube recommends them to you. If you want to guarantee that you get notified about each of these videos, click on the first link in the description down below, and that will take you to my Telegram channel, where I'll send you updates on more analysis from myself and my team free of charge straight to your phone, along with updates on these videos. But the thing right here is that Solana actually on this big rip down managed to establish a little bit of support around this $130 level, right? And so this area kind of stretching between 100 and let's say $28 and 138, roughly where we are right now. This was quite an important area of support on the chart, because as you can see right here, we found a big rejection off this $216 level. We dropped down by 45%, or down to the support area by about 40%. And this is where we initiated the next rally up, which was about a 40% rally. Again, we fell down to the exact same support range, down 22%, and then rallied up again by 60%, or from here up to the all-time high by about 90%, so nearly doubling off this price level right here. And then again, on the way back down, look at exactly where we found support only about 10 days ago, and again, only as recently as yesterday and the day before that. So an absolutely critical area of support, in my opinion, this $130 area. But obviously, seeing that we're just kind of trading around here, we have to start asking the question, if we don't find support here, and hopefully we will, and I'll tell you what I think will happen if we do, because I think we could be looking at, reaching those all-time high levels again, at least $220, and I'll talk about that just shortly in this video as well, just how we might get up to this red line. But I suppose the primary issue that I'm seeing on this chart right now is that if we don't manage to find support off this level, there is a huge gap right here. And like I said, if you don't establish any resistance on the way up, you cannot expect any support on the way back down. You just can't, right? right? We've got to be realistic about this stuff. And it's the same reason that we rise up really quickly, right? When I was talking to you guys about Bitcoin, for example, just to prove to you guys that I'm not just saying this to be the doom and gloom guy, it just happens to be the case that the markets are extremely bearish at certain times. But one of the key things I was talking about, if you were subscribed to the channel, that you'll remember about, is that I was saying, see, over here, if Bitcoin manages to pass this $40,000 area, it's probably going to go all the way up to 50 and 60K. And it did do that very, very quickly. It only topped out at 53. But broadly speaking, it was actually able to rally really, really quickly because there just wasn't much resistance, right? On the way up over here, we didn't establish any resistance. On the way down, we didn't establish any support. And again, on the way up, and again on the way down. There was almost no trading that happened in this range. We would just very quickly zip all the way up and zip all the way down. And so naturally, I expected us to zip all the way up right here for Bitcoin. So this applies when we're talking about bullish price action. And then, of course, you'll remember this very clearly if you watched my video just yesterday on Bitcoin, where I was saying that if Bitcoin happens to drop below this $30,000 box right here, it's probably going to drop all the way down to 20 for exactly the same reason that I'm saying Solana is probably going to drop all the way down to catastrophically low price levels. So let's go right back to the Solana chart here and break this down. So this is the thing, is that it's the very, very same analysis here. And I just wanted to point that out to you guys because, you know, a lot of people think that when people talk about ideas like this, that they're just being overly bearish or trying to spread fear and uncertainty and doubt. And it's just not the case. I mean, this is what normal technical analysis looks like. And again, if you can't stomach something like that, you don't belong in the crypto space. I mean, this is one of the most vicious, disgusting, dirty, painful markets that you can be in ever in all of history. And if you cannot sit through stuff like this and accept that you will lose money before you make money, then, you know, I mean, good luck to you. Because nobody would have thought that that Solana, who has actually invested, most people who are actually invested up here, wouldn't have been able to expect Solana to drop down here. Of course, in hindsight, it's extremely obvious. But in the moment, when we're looking at a chart that's trading all the way up here, you just can't imagine it. You're only thinking of how much higher it goes until you buy yourself a Lambo or finally get enough money back to win your wife over that lawyer who has a more stable job because he didn't dabble in crypto. He's just got his calm $100,000 salary. You know, that's just how it goes. But naturally, things don't end up going that way forever, and we fall down to support levels. And this is the problem, is that $130 right here on this chart is a support level, but below this, there is no support for a really, really long way. You know, I want to break this down if you've already done it on this chart right here. Let me just show you this chart while I bring this up. You know, this is a very clear example of how low Solana could be dropping just coming off the same price levels, where this area of consolidation for the chart, you know, previously was giving us a little bit of, you know, resistance on the way up. This was around the 73. I mean, it's a big range, but let's just say $73. If we end up dropping down below this range down to this support level, that's a minus 41% drop. So that's quite large. I mean, it's already dropped by something quite similar to that. Just at our current prices, it's probably like a minus 38% crash right now. Oh, my bad, it's minus 47%. So a very, very substantial drop already in the market. And we're talking about seeing yet another one of these, but down to the more, yeah, honestly, I hate to say it, but the more realistic support level for Solana, you know, we are looking at least a minus 61% drop to drop down to that $51 area. I'm sorry, that $48 area. And the reason that I'm saying that is, see, when we fall down below a critical area of support, we need to fall down to the next one. Just generally, that's what happens, right? Generally, when you lose a strong area of support, this, to me, cannot be a strong area of support. We consolidated here. I mean, we got a rejection that was only a 20% drop after Solana had already pulled a 3.5 times gain. We dropped down by 20%. I mean, it's really not that much at all. And it only lasted about 1 week. So, you know, there's two important factors to consider when we talk about resistance levels. And number one is, does it trigger a strong rejection? In this case, no. It managed to rise up by 250% and then it dropped down by 20%. So it's just not that strong in my opinion in terms of a correction. That's number one. And number two, does it trigger a long time based correction? And again, the answer is no. Now that's in stark contrast to this price level right here at $48, where we can see that not only did, I mean, first of all, Solana rallied up to here and pulled a 4.7 times gain. So that's huge, right? I mean, $100 would nearly turn into $500 in this rally right here. But then look at the crash that it triggered. It triggered a 70%, 60% crash within 6 days. That is a big price-based correction. That is massive. And I just want to highlight this, by the way, just bring this to your attention. Look at where Solana drops down to. Very, very important to be able to analyze this stuff and just keep a calm head. And I know a lot of people struggle with stuff like this, but again, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm telling you this stuff. And if you appreciate that and find it useful, please do me a favor and smash up the likes, tick the bell, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Here's the thing is that Solana originally was rallying up. And again, I mean, we're talking about huge rallies, right? I mean, this was in itself a 17 times gain. I mean, absolutely crazy. $100 turning into 1.7K. What we had right here was Solana topping out at about the $18 level. It again, it sees a fairly significant price drop of about 32%, but the crucial thing is it lasts 30 days, right? Solana, in order to break that previous all-time high, takes 32 days to rise back up. Here's the other example, which is even more significant in my opinion, right? It rallies up really high. Again, we've got that same, 3x gain, 4.7x gain if we measure it from here. Huge profit. But look at the drop. It's down by 66% in 5 days, which in and of itself is a very significant correction. But in order to then surpass this all-time high, Solana takes a further 90 days. Now that is a very significant correction in my opinion. That to me makes this a critical level in the market. Not only does it cause Solana to reverse in a very extreme way to the downside, it also causes Solana to wait effectively 90 days before setting a brand new all-time high. Again, we look at this all-time high that Solana sets right here, because obviously on the 21st of August 2021 this was an all-time high for Solana. It ends up dropping down for only a matter of days, about 5 days, about 20%. So percentage-wise, it's a small correction. Time-wise, it doesn't take long at all, because on day 6, we've already passed that all-time high. So this just wasn't a significant area of resistance, not when we compare it to $57, $48, down here. That's why I don't think that Solana is going to be able to enjoy support down here, and that's why I think that this support level is so strong for the market. Which is a huge problem, because again, if we go back to this chart, we are looking at least, 50-60% correction, even more after where we are right now, but that would effectively reset the market. The thing is that this lines up with what I'm seeing with Bitcoin as well. I mean, Bitcoin is in an extremely similar position right now, where it's trading at this $40,000 support level, which is critical for the same reasons. Look at this. I mean, it rallies up, it triggers a big drop, and it takes a long time for Bitcoin to set a brand new all-time high. We've interacted with this level continuously as resistance. We've found support, although you can't really see it. We found support right here, and again recently, $40,000 is a significant area of support. Below this, the next significant area I'm seeing is 30,000. Now here's the crucial difference. For Bitcoin to get from the 40k level down to the 30k level, we're talking at about a 20-25% correction. Because Bitcoin is a larger coin, it's a safer coin, it's a more liquid coin, it's less manipulated. Now a coin like Solana, because it's smaller, it's far more manipulated, it's far more illiquid. It has a much bigger drop to experience in order to get the same effect. That is something that you guys need to keep in mind in these markets. And I mean, look, I have no problem trading coins like this. You guys know me, but I prefer to keep my risk small. Look, I got money to protect. I mean, I'm not here to, turn to turn $100 into $1 million. Of course, I want to get as much wealth growth as I can, but I also, if I lose $100, it wouldn't matter to me, right? It wouldn't matter to most people just to lose $100. But, I want to make sure that I protect the larger sums of money. I'm not here to just fuck around and burn my cash, on a lottery ticket. And so what I like to do instead is I like to trade Bitcoin on leverage where, I feel it's a lot safer, and where Solana outperforms Bitcoin in terms of gains, I can compensate for that by applying leverage on Bitcoin. Now, if you're curious to know how that works and see exactly how I trade, do me a favor, just type this in the YouTube search bar, how to trade ○flies, and watch my video on it right here. It's the video that I made 8 months ago. It is a free video, but I used to charge for content like this, and I used to charge a lot for content like this. So check it out, because it is completely free and it is amazing. It is top level content. And again, considering that it's free, it's a crazy offer right here. So please do check it out if you want to be able to watch and see how I do this. If you want to trade where I'm trading, I'm doing it all on Bybit as well. And they've got an extremely time-limited offer. It's nearly expired now, where you can get just over $4,000 completely free of charge by signing up using my link in the description down below and then making your first deposit on the Bybit platform. So definitely check that out if you want some free money. You can do whatever you like with it. You can use it to buy Solana, whatever you like. It's your money. Any profits you get to keep. And it is, I mean, you're looking at just over $4,000 with this offer. So it's absolutely massive. So definitely take advantage of that if you feel like you like free money, because there's nothing to lose. You can just withdraw your cash straight away. And of course, this is the only exchange that I've been using pretty much for years now. I've been working with them for years as well. But let's bring it right back to the market here. That's all the negative stuff covered. The fact is, there's still some good signs on the Solana chart as well. And what I want to draw to your attention for this specifically is that Solana has actually been in a descending channel for quite a bit of time now. And actually, I've probably drawn this incorrectly. So let me just show this to you right here on a different chart. This chart right here, we're looking at the 4-hour time frame right here, and it stretches all the way going back to about mid-November up to about right now, where Solana has been in a downtrend within this descending channel, and it's quite a nice healthy downtrend. Now I know that probably sounds a little bit weird, but let me just show this to you on the chart and prove to you exactly why I'm saying this. So let's just take this off and let me draw it again for you guys correctly. We're looking at the downtrend starting at yeah, I mean, let's just say over here, and yeah, broadly speaking, just looking a little bit like this. The reason that I quite like this downtrend right here is that it's happening within a relatively narrow range. I mean, if we measure it, you know, from low to high, it's about a 25% range, which granted it is quite large. It definitely is quite large, and obviously it gets larger the lower our price level is. But this is still, I think, a pretty nice range considering the volatility for Solana. This is a pretty nice range for getting an idea of what Solana has been doing. And the thing is that these are generally quite bullish patterns, right? I mean, these are generally patterns that imply that we're slowly trading downwards before quickly having a huge explosion to the upside. And again, this is pretty much a similar position to what Bitcoin is in right now, where Bitcoin is also in a very, very significant area of support, around a very significant area of support on the larger time frames, you know, at the $40,000 level. And if we do end up getting a support bounce from here, we could be looking at being catapulted up towards 50k, 60k, 70k, and so on. And I think that's what Solana could be looking at as well, because at the end of the day, just the fact that it's been trading inside of this downtrend means that we've had a controlled drop. To me, that's really, really bullish, right? Seeing a controlled drop is good. I don't like the fact that it dropped so much, but it is a controlled move and it rallied up really high. So naturally, you are going to get pretty extreme corrections. The thing is that if there's any time for this coin to start bouncing up, it is going to be right now, because if Solana comes back down to test the area of support at the bottom of this parallel channel, it's going to drop below this $130 area. And that, my friends, is extremely concerning, because if Solana does end up dropping below this $130 area, and then tries to target support down here, you know, something that looks a little bit like this, I just don't think we're going to see that, because there's going to be so much, I think, there's going to be so much bearish momentum that enters the market if we fall below this green box, that we're not going to be able to find support here. I just don't see it happening. That's the God's honest truth, ladies and gents. I just don't see it happening, because this means we will have lost so much strength. I mean, this, you know, see finding support down here, in line with the bad analogies I like to give you guys, right? Finding support down here is the same as, you know, a politician or a group of a political party that's committed genocide in some country around the world, and then 100 years later comes back and says, hey, we're just going to return some of the jewels that we stole from your country. It's too little and it's too late. You know, and that, I think, is very, very important in this market right now. I mean, and the analogy is weird, but it makes total sense, right? I mean, you're talking about a market that's been disgustingly ravaged, or in this case, a country that's been obliterated in the name of money and slavery and so on. And then the colonizers come back 100 years later when everyone feels guilty about it, i.e. when we're back down at the support level, and they say, hey, let's make things right. Let me give you back some of the jewels we stole. Not all of them, but let me give you back some of them. And of course, you know, nobody's having any of it. It's just complete BS. And that's what I think this market would be in, where there's just going to be so much pain triggered here, so much I mean, not irrecoverable. It's not something that we can't recover, but certainly not anytime soon. And then naturally, it's going to be a big challenge. And not only that, there's going to be resistance right here. $130 was a resistance level originally. I just want to bring this to your attention right here so that we're aware of the facts. Straight facts. This area originally, for the first time ever, was resistance. We then managed to find support here many times, which is absolutely fantastic, but most likely, if we fall below it, we are going to find resistance there again, in my opinion, and that's going to be pretty dangerous for the market. Again, just seeing how bad things will probably be at that point, in my opinion. Of course, these are only my opinions. I'm not your financial advisor. You guys know the drill. Check out the disclaimer in the description. It applies to every single video. However, I do fully think that, Solana, if it drops below this level, is probably going to be looking at resistance right there. And I haven't actually looked at this before the video, but I'm sure that all of my key indicators confirm the same thing. And yeah, they do. So 4-hour Ichimoku cloud already rejected Solana a couple of times. Daily Ichimoku cloud just developing as resistance right now. Let's see where the momentum is on the daily time frame. Already causing some problems for the market. Let's check it out on the 4-hour time frame. Not so important on the 4-hour time frame, not actually super useful, but generally I think would still offer a little bit of momentum resistance for this trend right now. So to me, these things are not surprising. I mean, Solana has been in a downtrend for quite a while. Every indicator will be bearish on it right now, and again, I think that if that means it ends up dropping down, it's just going to be so hard to recover. But bottom line is, if there's any point that Solana can recover, it's probably at the end of that point right now. So hopefully it can pull something amazing out of the bag. And I guess the good news for Solana, just like Bitcoin, is that the key level Solana needs to break now is lower than before. The key level that Solana needed to break, in my opinion, previously would have been up here at about $204. But now, because we set a high, a trend, a local high at about $157, I think Solana only has to pass above this point right here, and as soon as it does, it's no longer in a downtrend, just according to the analysis that I'm seeing right here. Of course, with the descending channel that I showed you, there's still quite a bit more resistance, but the point is that our resistance levels keep on getting lower because the market is dropping, and so naturally, it takes less to turn bullish again because the market is so bearish at the moment. And so to me, that's a pretty good sign. And of course, what I want to just draw your attention to is that things can change really quick in a market like this. I mean, yeah, they dump down pretty slowly. That's generally how markets drop down, in macro terms. But when they rise up really quick. And I just want to take a moment to put this into perspective for you, where if we look at when Solana fell down to this $130 area to find support and then rallied back up, it took 24 days to move up $123. And for Solana to drop down by those same $123, it took Solana 63 days. So we're talking about, like 2.8 times, 2.7 times the length of time to drop compared to the length of time it took to rise. That's really significant in my opinion. I mean, that tells us a lot about how quickly this market can reverse and start trading upwards again. And I want us to all be aware of that, because right now people are forgetting it. And of course, that's going to result in bad things happening. So please stay conscious of it. Don't let yourself miss out on beautiful opportunities in the market just because you're fearful, or because the market is shaking you out, or because you're losing patience with what's going on. This is where we still exercise good levels of critical thinking. And of course, my objective here with the channel is to simply present the facts to you guys, tell you what I'm seeing, and then of course encourage you to make your own very well-informed decisions. So if you think that that's good for you, then do me a favor, throw up a like on this video, subscribe, tick the bell if you haven't done so already, get notified for these videos. If you want free cash, it's also going to support this channel as well, so check it out with the link in the description. You can buy any coin you like, and it's not your money. I mean, it is your money, but you don't have to deposit any. I mean, you have to deposit your cash and then you get a free bonus, right? So that bonus is free. It just comes out of thin air. It's Bybit, trying to encourage you to trade. I mean, that's obviously why they're doing it. But the thing is you can buy anything you like with it, and any of those profits are yours. And if you're putting in $4,000 into something like Solana and it doubles, then you're looking at some pretty explosive profits right there for free. Something that you didn't have to work for. So check it out. All you got to do is sign up using my link and make your first deposit, and you'll get that cash for free. If you want to jump inside of 𝗪𝗪's VIP and watch me trading in real time, then click on the first link in the description down below, and then at the on the @4flies button at the bottom of any post inside of 4flies Gold. This is my free Telegram channel where I give you more analysis on these markets, telling you exactly what I'm thinking and so on. You know, click on the first link, I'm sorry, on the @4flies button there, and then send message to ask me how to join 4flies VIP, and we'll give you all of that information straight away. If I'm not online to respond to you, one of my assistants will be. We'll get back to you within like 5-10 minutes. So you can be inside the group within the next hour, learning from what we've got in there. And of course, most VIP members that join are getting free access, depending on their plans, to 4flies Academy courses, where, again, I'm teaching you everything I know about trading from A to Z, everything I know about analysis from A to Z in a very structured, well thought out way. And then, of course, you get to watch me implementing those lessons in real time in VIP. So it is a very, very powerful experience. The final note I want to make right here is, I think the camera issues have mostly been fixed. They are going to keep on coming up, but for the past couple of videos, I don't think anyone's pointed anything out. So it's working. You know, obviously, when everything works fine, you shouldn't notice that it's working fine. That is the nature of technology and so on. That's just like you don't notice it working when it's working, and that means it's doing its job. I just want to point that out to you guys, so hopefully it stays fine, but we will have some more hiccups. Also, the light. There is a lot of light on my face, and there's broad daylight. Well, it's very gloomy right now in Dubai, but there's a lot of daylight behind me, so the office has been upgraded a little bit. If you're curious about how that happened, I mean, you've probably already figured it out. If you're curious, just above my head there is the reflection of my softbox, which is in front of me, providing a little bit more light to balance out the high exposure from the background. So cool upgrade. I'm into, you know, I'm really into, you know, camera stuff and anything related to filming and cinematography. I've always been interested in this stuff since I was a child, so just figured I'd point this out to you guys as well. But anyway, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Stay tuned for my Ethereum analysis coming up later today, and of course my Bitcoin analysis. Just make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that stuff. And of course, steps for VIP on screen if you want to jump inside. But I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.